ora, good evening Rotorua. Ahead tonight on your Tuesday night news bulletin. Nearly a third of the oil on board the grounded Rena has now been pumped off the ship. Massive rock carving of the Pink Terraces finds home at the buried village. And Rotorua thanked by RDC Rugby World Cup organisers. Those stories and more up next tonight on City News. Nearly a third of the oil on board the grounded Rena has now been pumped off the ship, leaving approximately 800 tonnes in 4 different tanks. Maritime New Zealand Salvage Unit Manager Bruce Anderson says 2 booster pumps have sped up the pumping rate from the port tank, and salvage teams were continuing to work on ways to extract oil from the submerged starboard tank and 2 settling tanks in the engine room. National On-Scene Commander Rob Service says planning teams were continuing to track the movement of between 5 and 10 tonnes of oil that leaked from the ship early Sunday morning. Rob Service says the slick remains around the vessel for now, but current modelling suggests it will move slowly north from tomorrow and possibly reach the shoreline of Mere Island on Thursday. A team of wildlife experts is at the island assessing what can be done to protect wildlife. Mr Service says the team is also working with iwi, who own and care for the island, as local expertise and knowledge is hugely valuable. Rotorua's triennial property revaluations have been out for a few weeks, but there is still some concern among homeowners about exactly what they mean. The revaluations revealed an average 12% drop in property value across the district. Rotorua District Councillor Charles Sturt says the council has received hundreds of calls from people upset at the drop in value of their properties. Charles Sturt says anyone who is concerned or doesn't agree with their revaluation should object.
Anybody who's rung me, I've encouraged them to appeal and let the independent bodies see. The contractor, which is Landmass Tauranga, they did the valuations under contract to council. They're not council's valuations, they are the contractors. The contractor advises each landowner. It's up to the landowner to say whether they accept it or they don't. I mean, 80% of people don't because they've had a revaluation down.
And we have more on this issue in tonight's City News. Rotorua Police are happy with the behaviour of most drivers in the region over Labour weekend. However, Head of Rotorua Road Policing, Sergeant Denton Grimes, says there were a number of infringement notices served for speeding. Sergeant Grimes also says around 20 people were charged with drink driving offences, which he says is disappointing. 7 people have died on the roads this Labour weekend, 1 down on last year. The worst Labour weekend toll was in 1978 when 16 were killed. The massive rock carving depicting the legendary Pink Terraces is now taking up permanent residence at the buried village at Tarawera. The 19-tonne carving was gifted to Rotorua by Quarry NZ during their conference in July. RDC's Events and Venues Operations Manager Jolene Elliott says the original terraces were destroyed during the eruption of Mount Tarawera in 1886, so it is fitting that the carving is being rehomed in the area of its inspiration. In sport tonight, nearly 4,500 rugby fans packed the final fan zone on Sunday to watch the nail-biting final between France and New Zealand. Fans of all ages and nationalities erupted in rapture at the Energy Event Centre when the All Blacks won the game 8 points to 7. Fan zone organiser Renee Nathan says she was happy with the way the fan zones were run and the community should be proud.
Would like to, congratulate the community for coming out and joining others because we've always said that this tournament's more than just about the rugby. It's about how we've been able to kind of work together and try new things that we probably wouldn't have if it wasn't such a, this event was on, and just really glad that everyone kind of participated when they were approached and that they enjoyed themselves, and we're just pleased that we've got memories for people to be able to sort of, I guess, recap on their Rugby World Cup experience.
And we have a highlights package from the weekend's fan zones in tonight's City News. To weather now, Rotorua and the surrounding area. Tonight, fine, light winds, overnight a low of 10. Tomorrow Wednesday, long, fine spells, northwest winds, a high of 18 and low of 12. Long range for Thursday, a few showers, easterlies, a high of 15 and low of 10. Marine forecast for Lake Rotorua for Wednesday, northwest 10 knots rising to 15 knots for a time in the afternoon, waves below half a metre and long, fine spells. If you've missed any of tonight's bulletin, you can watch it again by going to tvrotorua.co.nz and click on the View Latest City News link. Or to view what's on in our city, click on the Upcoming Events link. Still to come tonight on City News, Megan Ruha tells us about Work Well and their recent award win. I'm in the studio with District Councillor Charles Sturt, but after the break we take a look back at the Rugby World Cup and the outstanding fan zone.